Hi, Millie.
Hi, Laurel.
No, doesn't matter. I just wanted to say hello. How are you guys? How's this working? Okay.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, good from here.
good. Fantastic. Hey, Joe. Amy, I need some of your ferry expertise. Will you look at the National Weather Service and let me know whether you think the ferries are going to be consistently running all weekend?
Ooh, sorry, I just pulled it up. You're gonna make me
So,
do this on live YouTube?
yes, yes, you're going to be on the record.
What's your travel day?
Sunday. It's Susan. She's got to make her plane in Boston.
At the moment, I think you're good, but pay close
Okay.
attention.
Okay. How is it? You're going Monday?
Yeah, Monday doesn't look so good.
All right, Amy. That you've done the worthwhile thing you can do all day. So
Thank you. Of course, I don't think my dad's there, so.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
See.
He's in Florida.
He hasn't been here for a couple of years.
Where? Here? Who's the alarm officer? What's up? Okay. So, no, it's just the three of us. So I think you can, and you should ask James. I think we're just receiving a report on 5, and on 6 I was going to punt it until we have 5 people here anyway. I just want to
Right.
ask. Oh,
Yeah, I think I can give
yeah,
you an
I don't.
overview of what we
Yeah,
just found out.
it's a good question.
Could you guys hear me okay?
We can,
Okay,
James.
great. Thanks.
Yeah, James is in sunny Wickford. Coming to you from beautiful downtown Wickford.
Hustling and bustling.
Can I go? Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everybody. Call this meeting of the New Shoreham Town Council to order. Today's Wednesday, February 18th. It is 7 p.m. Joining us via Zoom tonight, we have Millie McGinnis Hyatt, Amy Land, and James Callahan. Do we have any public comment tonight? No. First item is the consent agenda. We have some minutes. We have some contract awards, etc. Any questions? Everybody square? Can I have a motion to approve the?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We've had 2 meetings in a row where I'm excited to appoint somebody. Today we have Christy Zent, who has graciously volunteered to be on the Historic District. I think she's exactly the kind of person we need. They own property in the Historic District, always very, very community minded. And I would make a motion to appoint Christy Zent to HDC.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Just again, for the record, we're on a bit of a roll here, guys. We have a lot of openings. Motor vehicles for hire, another historic district, Old Harbor Task Force, Police Advisory, Sewer and Water District, and Board of Canvassers. Are the Board of Canvassers, are those vacant, or is there someone who wants that?
They're upcoming,
Yeah,
but I reached out to them and they had all confirmed that they would
like to continue. Okay, great. Terrific. Now we have to set a public hearing date for this new shellfish ordinance. Can I have a motion to set a public hearing for this matter on Wednesday, March 18th at 7 p.m.?
Second?
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Number 5 is to receive and discuss memo that our solicitors, James Callahan and Nick Solitro, prepared for the council regarding the town's authority on motor vehicles for hire. James, I don't know whether you want me to kick this to you or I'll kick it first to Amy and then to you.
Whatever your preference is. Amy and I spoke today. I can lead off if you'd like, or either
Go
way.
ahead.
Amy, do you have to intro or just go to
No,
James?
James can take it away.
James, thank you so much.
Great. No, thank you. Great to see everyone tonight. Hope
James,
you're all
you need a
doing well.
spotlight on your face.
I know, I'm a little dark here. I apologize. Thanks for the time tonight. So for some context, last fall, these solicitors were asked to respond to a series of questions posed by the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission. And during the research for those answers, we came across some sort of unexpected results. As you know, New Shoreham has specific town enabling legislation from the General Assembly that allows towns to regulate taxi cab operations in town. That exclusive regulation, New Shoreham is the only town that has it, includes the power to maintain a list of applicants for taxi licenses, to issue licenses, and limit the number of licenses, among other things. But that legislation only applies exclusively to taxi cabs. And by statute, a taxi cab is a public motor vehicle that has a taximeter, which I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's that device in the taxi that records how long you've been in the car and the price. So in the course of researching our answers to these questions, we talked directly to a representative from the Public Utilities Commission. And during that discussion, we realized that the regulation of taxi cabs in New Shoreham has morphed into other things beyond taxi cabs. Town ordinances now include regulations for charter buses and limousines specifically. And basically, those regulations, those ordinances are not allowed by state law. The only body that can regulate those things is the Public Utilities Commission. Additionally, we learned that black car services, which is a different type of motor vehicle for hire, where you pay a certain amount of money for a fixed point-to-point trip, and the minimum is $40, and that's allowed across the state, and again, only regulated by the Public Utilities Commission. So, in addition, in that same vein, limousines, charter buses, all those things, and courtesy vehicles all fall outside the regulation and enabling legislation that New Shoreham has specifically for taxi cabs. I think obviously this is a sensitive issue for a lot of people on the island. But for these reasons, our recommendation is that Article 7, Section 6163 to 172 should be revisited and amended to comply with state law. Or you can seek further enabling legislation from the General Assembly to allow more regulation on the island.
Right.
And also, right now, if black car services or limousines or charter buses or courtesy vehicles are operating on the island, they pretty much have that right at this time. So we don't think that the ordinances that apply to those type of vehicles should be enforced right now. And, as soon as possible, we should revisit that ordinance in its entirety. And we're saying that because if someone did challenge these things in court, we would almost certainly wouldn't prevail.
Gotcha. So, are there any questions for James about this? I think it's really important to, and frankly, part of the motivation to make sure we put this on an agenda was to make this public, because it's going to be the subject of, a pretty substantial amount of public discourse across the board. And there's a 1A and a 1B here in a way to me. 1A is we have to clear up our ordinance. Item B, which is actually ends up being the next item on the agenda. My own preference would be to talk about legislation, legislative strategy, et cetera, when we have more than 3 people here. I don't really feel comfortable, and I don't think everybody has worked through what or whether there where or whether conflicts might exist, and people may need some more time. But toward that end, if Tristan and Molly agree, I think it would be helpful, James, if you would just provide for us and for the public a draft of what the cleaned up ordinance would look like, and maybe it can be 2 pages, sort of, 1 page,
Yeah.
a clear view of what's been taken out, so that when we begin having this conversation, I don't know whether it'll be on March 18th or just to give you time, maybe sooner, I'm not sure. Anyway.
Just as like a housekeeping, do we need to make a motion to accept this report? Or
Millie,
we don't?
I don't.
I don't think you need to accept it, although you are welcome to.
If we don't need to?
Okay.
And then in rewriting the portion of the ordinances, would that clean up the, basically like the job description of the motor vehicles for hire? Is that part of it?
I think that's, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, I think we're clearly, well, not clearly, I shouldn't say that. What James's memo says is that by his and Nick's read of the statute, we currently regulate things that we don't have the statutory authority.
Right.
So am I getting that right, James?
Correct.
And this would be part of the reason I said, it would be great to have it on 2 pages so we can see.
Right. Well, I didn't look up the section that Nick is referring to, so I don't know if, I'm sorry, not Nick, James,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry. You're very small up there. So I don't know. Does that also include the part where it just like sort of the enabling piece for that board? Because I would think we would have to change that too.
I
I would
I
say
think
the request is for them to amend any of the town ordinances that need to be touched to bring us into compliance with the state
Okay.
statutes.
Perfect, perfect.
And then just for the people in the room, I don't see anything wrong. I'm a little bit in the gray here because I'm recused on this matter, but we definitely, the town has some housekeeping
Yeah,
currently
Yeah.
with the way that we have things written on our book. So just for the public, I appreciate the lawyer's
great.
memo on this.
So we'll hold off on item 6, which was to talk about potential legislative changes. We'll agenda this, clearly won't initially be for public hearing. It'll be to review the draft, would be my guess. And then based upon that conversation, I always love it when Millie's nodding because I think I'm doing okay. And depending on how that conversation goes, we'll figure out what we're going to do next. Certainly, it seems, regardless of what we decide about pressing for statutory changes, in any event, we're going to have to do our ordinance, right? I mean,
Right.
it's a bit problematic right now. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Judy. So yes, please.
The total together, like ask again for control over limos and buses.
I totally get what you're asking. That'll be when we have his redraft. Is we're going to put it on. I don't know whether we can do it on March, whatever that is. It'll probably be March 18th, so people know, where we'll go through the ordinance and then we'll talk with the community about whether and what on statutory stuff. Does that make sense? So yes, I mean, you and I think are saying, yeah, yes, yep, it could be.
Now I'm done. I mean, I was just hoping to not go through another summer, hoping to get it moving along. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. Judy?
So does that leave the licenses that you gave out for the limo and the bus? Where does that leave them?
Unburdened as I am by a law degree. I don't know the answer.
I just thought I'd throw that out.
I don't know. James, did you hear
Yeah.
Judy's question?
Yes, those buses and limousines, they can't be licensed, but they can operate in town without that. But it's purely something the Public Utilities Commission controls, not the town. So we can't issue licenses for those.
Would they have to though go to the PUC?
I
Yes.
think we should check with that for any regulations there. But again, the town is not in control of that.
Right.
So in order for the bus licenses and the limo licenses and all the other ones that you're talking about, they have to go and apply to the PUC to do that. And there has to be a hearing and there's fees and there's inspections and there's all kinds of stuff that you got to go through. So if we can't license, our licenses are invalid towards
For-
those buses, the bus and the
For-
limo,
Limo,
they can't operate
Counselor.
unless they're have applied to the PUC. Am I right?
counselor?
Right. I think that's correct. That's what it should have, that's what it should have been all along.
I think they need to call the PUC tomorrow. That's my sense of it. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good.
And you get shut down, and you have to maintain all your insurance.
I know.
So it's a huge cost to me.
All right. James, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
I think.
I know. We weren't looking for this. This is not something we were looking to find out, to be honest.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. All right, item 7, Amy, dear.
Dear, yes. So I wanted to make sure that we got out into the public's hands the DEM aerial flyover deer numbers that we had all been so anxiously waiting on. So that is a very brief report put out by DEM with a table that I would describe as surprising. They have a density estimate for Block Island of 13 deer per square mile. That's, I would say, sort of inconsistent with the conversations that we've had previously with DEM. And so I have a meeting scheduled with them at the end of the month. And one of the topics that we'll be discussing is this data, their methodology, how they came to this, and how they square it with some of the other numbers that we've talked about historically for deer density on Block Island. So I don't really have updates now on that topic, but I did want to get the report out there and let people react and digest.
Thank you. I would just say, what do I know? The number seems, frankly, kind of laughable. But for me, and this is a change for me, this number is largely irrelevant to me given the public health crisis we're facing. You know what I mean? If we're getting all of these tick-borne illnesses out of a population of 120, in some respects that makes me even more more concerned about dealing with this as a public health issue and not as a herd management issue. So I personally would rather focus on some of the things the council has talked about and the things you're already working on, Amy, regarding tools to deal with this public health issue, than argue with DEM's FLIR numbers, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's the primary purpose of that conversation is around herd management and additional strategies for Block Island. But we do want to discuss this as well.
Yeah.
So.
Millie, do we, just as a question, sort
Okay,
of
so 120.
related, unrelated, do we know how many deer have been tagged this year?
I don't have that number in front of me,
Ye-
but I can certainly
Okay.
find it.
I think we're at 136 on the tail reimbursements for this year, which is significantly lower than previously.
So we're in negative numbers of deer then, according to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
There's a little more math that needs to go involved. So this was done, this would have been done just before the breeding season. But yes.
Goodness. Thank you, Amy.
Sure.
Do you want to, are there any questions for Amy on this one? Yeah. Yo, geez. Said as he shouted into the microphone. Amy, do you want to lead this, the computer aided dispatch?
Yes.
I know there's what's it called? CAD/RAM or something like that?
A CAD RMS. And
CAD
the
RMS.
chief couldn't be with us tonight, but he is happy to take questions if anyone has them. So this is a request to enter into an agreement with the Rhode Island Department of Public Safety that manages CAD and RMS systems throughout the state for us to migrate to a system used in many other departments around the state. So basically to join their platform. It does have an annual cost to the town of about $13,000, which is not that far off from what we currently invest in our existing
Mhm.
infrastructure. There's also some conversion costs to make sure that we can bring some of our historical information into the system. And we have the budget to accommodate that from prior year police technology funds. But the chief feels very strongly about this for a number of reasons. One of the primary ones being the opportunity to integrate much more seamlessly with other departments and look towards a more collaborative mutual aid environment going forward. So.
Yeah, Paul was kind enough before he left, and I think he's reached out to everybody on the council to meet with us one-on-one, and I really appreciated that. This is this is one of those things that, you know, is on a town council agenda and it passes and nobody knows how important it is. But this one, it's a really important thing, that step that the town is taking to kind of more fully integrate with forces, you know, our neighboring town public safety services. And I think the most encouraging thing is it can provide for us a safety net if you know, if we're short people sometimes. And boy, that is you know, that's something that I think keeps all of us awake. Particularly given what a skeleton crew we ran with, you know, over the last several months. So I think this is terrific.
Is the chief on? No.
He is not. He couldn't be with us.
Amy, the onboarding this new system, is there costs associated with that?
There is some cost. We're waiting on a final estimate. We believe that we have the funds available in police technology dollars that are pre-existing. And that's only a conversion of our historical data into the new system. The training and software is all included in the package.
And then from what I understand, it's a multi-agency software. So it's not only the police. Is the rescue and fire department also going to be involved in the record keeping?
Yeah, well, the dispatch will be, so that to the extent that this manages all calls that come through our dispatch center, police, fire, rescue, this will be the aggregation point for all of those.
I guess, and then the other thing, and then I just noticed in the memo too, is there also some mapping software that comes with this new program?
It does integrate with GIS systems so that particularly once you're fully developed and you have a scenario where you may have either a dispatcher who's not as familiar with Block Island or somebody who is remote can help direct a responding team to the right location. So yes, there is a GIS component as well.
So, and the software company is going to handle all that uploading of all that data?
Yep, along with our staff. So, for example, our GIS consultant, Allison Ring, would be involved in providing the maps and making sure that we're doing regular updates between the systems.
All right, I guess, and then the last thing, was this a state mandate through all departments?
It is not a mandate. It is optional, but a majority of the departments do use this platform.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Amy. Can I have a motion to approve this? Is it an MOU? This
Yes.
MOU?
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amy, are you going to
Yep.
explain the sub-recipient agreement?
Yes, so this is purely paperwork.
Yes.
As you all remember, we received 2 vans through a RIPTA program. There was an MOU that defined that relationship that was executed by Marianne and authorized by the council in June of 2023. RIPTA has identified that they need to meet some additional documentation requirements for their federal obligations, and so they are asking us to execute this subrecipient agreement that meets all of the federal standards for terms and conditions and whatnot, certifications that they need to keep the program running. So nothing in our arrangement has changed. It's just a little bit more formal in the agreement underlying it.
Right. I'll make the motion to approve the RIPTA agreement.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Item 10, do you want to do any of these resolutions, Amy? I know you wisely were counseled us at our last meeting. Is the purchasing limits the only one?
I
that you
think
wanna do?
purchasing is the only one that we want to do
Okay,
today.
great.
I do want to share something with the council that I heard from Tina last week. Her understanding of the legislative calendar is that it will be a little bit more accelerated this year. So she really would like the town to take action in short order over the next few weeks on anything that we do want to put in front of the legislature this session. She doesn't feel that we will have the extended timeline that is typical in other years. So I share that just for planning.
So prior to our next meeting, you will have met with DEM, and therefore we may have a clearer sense of or better sense of clarity around the
Positioning that we want to be
tick-borne
taking.
illness one. Gotcha.
I have meetings with DEM, DOT, and the group that's discussing the non-owner occupied property tax all in the next 10
Great.
days.
Terrific. That's wonderful. Wonderful. All right then.
So is that a motion in order to raise from 10,000 to 25,000?
Yes.
Contract services?
Yes.
I will make the motion.
There's a second.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. The ayes have it. It's all Amy all the time.
That's okay. We're actually getting through this faster than I expected. And I would start by saying it is a very quiet week around town hall, so we appreciate people's patience as some of our staff is catching up on vacations. So it is a quieter week. A little bit of an update on statistical reval, which we haven't talked too much about, but is happening in the background. We do expect notices to go out March or early April, and preliminary indications there are that we will see a significant increase in land values. I'm reluctant to put a number on it right now, but it was astronomical. So they're doing a little bit of additional review of that data before we put it out there, but people can prepare for that. They're also still working through the commercial numbers, so we don't have a sense now of those, but really the changes are in the land curve more than anything. We had a number of vacant land sales during the analysis period that's really driving those changes. So that will come through. And then I wanted to share with everyone that both Charlene and Laurel are working on leadership programs this spring, which is so exciting. They've both been accepted into different programs. Charlene with the League of Cities and Towns Municipal Leadership Academy, and Laurel at the Trust Supervisors Management Institute. So we wish them both well in their programs. Always exciting. Yay.
Hooray.
We also provided a little bit more detail on some of the parking space counts. This really isn't sort of a formal update, but we had talked about, hey, how many spaces do exist in town? And so the staff had put together some counts for people to look at, think about, and if we want to resurface that conversation, we can, but at least there's some data behind it going forward.
Great. Can I'm sorry to jump back.
It's okay.
On the statistical reval, I think it would be helpful to the community if we, I'm saying this to Millie and Laurel, if we just sort of make sure we put that on future agendas until the notice goes out, just so we can do our best to socialize and not have people shocked, because people tend to equate an increase in their property value with an increase in taxes, and those are not necessarily, you know what I mean? I think a little bit of a tutorial on that publicly might make some sense. I don't know how you feel about that, Amy, but
Sure, we're always happy to do that. I'll do it
yeah.
now in 2 sentences just because there's always an opportunity.
Yeah,
But
right.
to the extent that property values in New Shoreham go up by X amount, it is the law and a requirement that the mill rate go down by X amount. And so those things always work in proportion. The tax levy is set entirely by the budget process. So an increase in valuations does not translate directly to an increase in the aggregate tax bills in New Shoreham. But we can do that and have that conversation in more detail going forward.
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Sorry to digress there.
No, it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Rec programs continue. Always astounded by the number of things they have going on in the winter. And the other busy department continuing with amendments is the land use. They are wrapping up short-term rentals and continuing to push out and review zoning amendments. We have a couple now that we're ready to forward to the council. Some of them are complex, some of them are straightforward, but there's a long list there that you can see.
Great. And we're going to try to reschedule that planning conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if we're any closer to a date, Millie.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So fairly short in terms of a manager's report this month, but I'm happy to take questions if there's anything that we've missed.
I wouldn't sell yourself short. Your speaking part was brief, but I do think it's important to point to the fact that there's a lot of great stuff going on, and I appreciate it. That's not just you, Amy. That's, all of your departments, et cetera. Really, really been great. Are you going to do the financial reports, or are we holding that until the next meeting, or?
We're going to hold that on until the next meeting. Mona is deep in both audit and budget,
Yes,
which is
yes,
a tough juggle, and so we don't have financial reports for tonight.
Great. Are there any items for future agendas that we want to do? I think we filled up our March 18th already. Plus the budget on March 18th. Terrific. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Let's have it. Thank you guys for making the time for Zoom. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Laurel, thank you. YouTube worked, Zoom worked. Woo!